Good afternoon, everybody. It's your girl, Stephanie Robles here. And I hope everybody is having the most amazing, wonderful, what is it, Monday? I almost said Wednesday. I almost did it again, Monday ever. I wanted to talk about those blind spots because I recently became aware of something that I kind of do very often. And a really amazing friend. I'm so first and foremost blessed to have friends that help me notice my blind spots. And my hugest blind spot is that sometimes I lack the confidence in myself and to understand the changes that I can make. And really, if you want to make a change in your life or you want to change the world, you could just start by one random act of kindness at a time and you're already changing something. But it's a little difficult to do when you have those blind spots in your life. And we all have them. And I talk to my son, my oldest, about these conversations of the blind spots that we have, and we don't really notice them because sometimes we're egotistical in that way, and we think that we know we're flawed human beings, but sometimes we don't recognize them. And sometimes our friends are too polite to kind of tell us, well, guess what? You're very rude, or you're cocky, or you're shy. Those are blind spots that sometimes we take for granted. And instead of applying them and correcting them, which is an amazing thing, we kind of take it offensively or we get mad or something to that extent. And it was the most humbling experience for me because it is definitely true. I have definitely suffered from self confidence issues on certain things that I want to do. I will want to do something, or maybe you want to do something, and all of a sudden you kind of pull back from yourself, or you don't take the initiative to do it, or you're tired, and then you start complaining that this isn't getting done, and you get mad, and it's just a vicious cycle. When do you stop? When do you start moving forward? When do you start changing things for the better in your life? I've had a rough month. All of those things, we sometimes we take them on ourselves. My hugest one I can honestly say is that I take everybody else's burdens on a little bit, and I can come off rather blunt and abrasive sometimes when I don't mean to be, but that's definitely one of my hugest blind spots. I was, me being the type of person that I am, I was raised to not let emotion, to show my emotion to people because it was like sharks in the water that they come and they kind of come and get you and they attack you because it's the truth. Who wants to sit there and be vulnerable and admit to the things that they lack or the things that they're not good at? So I would hide those things. And if I would, they always say fake it till you make it. Well, sometimes you have those friends that kind of call you out on it and you're like, oh, you'll have that one moment of weakness and they'll pounce on you. And it's amazing the changes that you can see in your life just by having people address those blind spots. And you can learn from them and you can learn to better yourself. I'm actually learning that by being vulnerable and sharing, being brave enough to share my own pain with others, because a lot of people don't realize the things that you go through on a daily basis. By being vulnerable enough, I'm not alone. There's so many other people out here dealing with so many ranges of different issues and problems that we don't even know about. We don't talk about it, but we'll talk about food or working out or somebody that got hurt. We talk about all those other things, and it's just fine to talk about those things, but we never talk about the harder things in life, the much worser things. Like, what do I do if I'm having trouble? What do I do if I'm depressed? What do I do if I'm having a bad day? What do I do if these things are affecting my life? The changes that you can make. Where do I need to go to get help? A lot of us sometimes we're scared to ask for help. And that's a huge blind spot because we have pride that gets in the way of that a little bit. We're too proud to ask for help. My mother always said, the one that doesn't ask for help when they most need it is the one that's the stupidest one. And they end up costing you something more because mistakes are costly. And those are blind spots. You can work on that because it's okay to admit when you need help on something or you're having issues. There's so many different resources going out there and doing those things that that can help benefit you and better you and make you feel better. All of those spots. And they help us in turn be better human beings, and we're able to kind of internalize it. Some of us, we kind of draw inward with our feelings, where we push all of our emotions down until they burst out of us, and then we kind of just emotionally vomit, and it just makes you feel a certain way. Hi, Vondell. Thank you. I see you. No, I am not a counselor. It's just one of those things that I kind of see what's going on in the world, and I just like to talk about them because I don't see those things being talked about. Again, we talk about everything else, but we never talk about those hard stuff that everybody goes through. And when you don't have somebody out there, the perception is that we're all perfect on social media all our lives. We're perfect. Nobody has any flaws, no blind spots, nothing. So therefore, if we sit here and we talk about the rough stuff and the things that we're going through, my hope and my blessing is that somebody sees this and sees somebody talking about it, that they understand that we're all flawed, we're all human, and there is someone out there that you're not alone. And that's where I'm coming from with that. That's why I talk about those things. And you don't see it. You don't. You see some dude getting hurt, or you see somebody crying, or you see a crime, and you see all those things, but you never see those other things being talked about. Blind spots. And then sometimes people don't really have access to the quality of care that they want. Sometimes you have to go to great lengths sometimes. And it's hard. It's difficult. Life is difficult. Life is hard. And when you don't know the resources or where you can go to get access to quality care, it's really difficult. And you don't know because you're trying to be perfect. But we're not perfect. We're human. We're meant to feel things. We're meant to be flawed. We're here to be human, not perfect. I think I kind of butchered that saying, but you guys know what I meant. I butchered it. But those are one of those blind spots that we all have. We want to do something with our lives, and we want to make this big change, and we don't make them. Or our brain we start getting stressed. I saw a video this morning, and it was talking about our brain chemistry, how we protect ourselves. Emotionally, we protect ourselves from change. Once our body goes into a stress mode, it finds little excuses, little ways to be like, okay, you can't do this or you can't do that. How do you change that perception? How do you fix that? And her theory was, what she did was count from 5 down to 1, and she would get up and just do whatever she had to do. And that was her way to fix it. And that I will post a link. It is from Mel Robbins, and it's on YouTube. I will message you the link to that YouTube video. You're going to love it, Wendell. And I loved it because she actually brings, definitely, we definitely do need to talk about that. Just sitting here and putting that into perspective and thinking about that, it does make you think of why you stall and why we stop. Like, we have all the potential in the world to do all these great things, but we don't do them. Why? blind spots. So it's said if you change your way of thinking, of lowering your stress level, whatever way it helps you to do whatever you need to do in your life, do it. If you got to count from 5 to 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go and do it, hey, you're doing something different. One thing my mother used to, thank you, Mondell. The one thing my mother used to tell me all the time is don't change the way you say things. Stop saying try. You're not trying, you're doing. When I would be like, I'm trying, she's like, no, you're not trying, you're doing. If you get up in the morning and you have the intention of doing it and you're getting up and you're doing something different than what you normally do, you're no longer trying, you're doing. You're doing what you're supposed to do. Give yourself credit. It is okay to give yourself credit for something that you're doing better than what you were doing yesterday. You're not being egotistical as society would once want you to believe either, but you're giving yourself some credit. You're cutting yourself some slack because sometimes that needs to be given. You want to be a motivational speaker, get on Facebook. You're doing it. Go on your own page. There are so many ways that you can do things, whatever you want to do, and all it takes is time and research. Sometimes we lack the patience, though, because we want things at our time, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen in 2 weeks. It does take time and effort. But I promise you that if you try to fix your blind spots, life will definitely get better for you. And all it takes is 5 seconds. 5 seconds. 5-second countdown for you to move forward and upward onto amazing new heights in your life and wherever you want to go. Whatever your frame of mind is, if it's in a negative frame of mind, do whatever you need to do to change that frame of mind. I can't change the circumstances in which whatever I'm going through in life, but I can change my attitude about the way it's affecting me. I get to choose how my day is going to go from this day forward. I can choose how I react to it, my attitude about it. It takes 2 people to start a fight. You don't have to participate in that argument. Why waste energy on something like that? It's not worth it. Sometimes it's better to be silent than to be right. At least that's what my grandmother says. But then I have one of those families that they have a saying for everything. So somebody did tell me that. It's crazy how you sit here and you have a saying for everything. It's because I listened to my grandmother in the kitchen while she was cooking. That's what it is. I'm an old soul. That's what it is. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day. I'm going to sit here and enjoy the bliss, peacefulness, calmness of my little twin girl sleeping because I never enjoy that. I don't give myself time for that. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you, Vondell, for coming on here and watching me. I really appreciate it. Have a blessed day, guys. Bye.